So, Dragon's Dogma 2 was revealed recently at this year's PlayStation Showcase, and I've been bursting with excitement from all the buzz around it. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing with this video, and I got nothing new to share, nor do I have any rumors to spread, but I thought I'd give it a try and tell you what my experience was with the first Dragon's Dogma, and hopefully somebody could relate or get interested with the game and pick it up for the first time. Everything I say in here is actually in a blog post I wrote, which you can read in the description below. I'm basically turning it into an audio article, but it's whatever. Anyway, here's my experience with Dragon's Dogma and why I absolutely love it. After 10 long years, I've finally played Dragon's Dogma. This is a bold take, but hear me out. I think Dragon's Dogma has solidified its place among the best open world RPGs. Honestly, I don't think I can give an objective review of this game at all because I enjoyed it on such a deep level that it's very personal to me. So instead, I will tell you about what I loved about this game in a non-linear and scatterbrained manner because I really don't know where to start. In the early 2010s, I played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and Monster Hunter Portable Third a lot with other kids in our neighborhood. I was a very bad hammer user and was often scolded for using up all the revives during party raids. Despite the difficulty I had, I found this to be a grueling but very fun experience. Around the same time, Dragon's Dogma was also announced, and a year later it was released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. From watching the trailer and gameplay reveals, I was deeply amazed in the stunning gameplay, rich combat options, and amazing high fantasy world of Dragon's Dogma. But I didn't have the equipment to play it. I didn't have a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 when it was first released in 2012, and my computer wasn't capable of running it during its Microsoft Windows release in 2016. It wasn't until last year that I was able to finally buy it and have the right equipment for it. I knew then and there that I was going to fall into an addiction with Dragon's Dogma and waste hours and weeks playing it. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, its grindy gameplay and my fascination with other games such as Kingdom Come Deliverance and Red Dead Redemption 2 put this on hold. A year passed by and 2023 came and I did not have any more games I wanted to play. I was almost burnt out with open world RPGs after finishing Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I want to be a sperm. Okay. I want to be a sperm. I want to go back to bees and, more of those games. So, what reignited my passion? Yeah, it was Dragon's Dogma. I started playing Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, but quickly grew bored of it because of its dialogue-heavy cutscenes and multiple gameplay hints that seemed to babysit me. So I took a step back and looked at my game catalog, and I saw Dragon's Dogma once again. In all honesty, I have had multiple restarts in Dragon's Dogma over the past few months of this time, and I basically knew how to speedrun the first few missions until reaching Grand Soren. However, I think it is very important to go through the early parts of Dragon's Dogma, as it has one of the best opening missions in video game history, at least I think. So, Dragon's Dogma's prologue mission throws you into the fray with Savan and his companion Salde. You are immediately taught your movement controls and one of the most important items in the game, which is the lantern. The item not only serves as your light inside dark dungeons, but also during the night. This is also a subtle way of teaching you the day and night cycle. Just a short walk past the broken down entryway and you encounter the game's main antagonist, the dragon. His introduction is one of the best, in my opinion, in video game history. His sudden entrance presents the scale of combat, intensity of action, and high fantasy experience that awaits you in your journey. As you delve deeper into the dungeon, you are introduced to more companions called pawns. With these new party members, you descend even deeper and face off against various enemies like bats, goblins, wolves, and harpies. At the end of this dungeon, you eventually face off against the tutorial boss, the Chimera. There are different ways of defeating the Chimera, but it is apparent that the game wants you to kill its serpent tail and goat head first by climbing on the monster. Yeah, you can climb monsters in this game. And this is what impressed me the most when I first saw Dragon's Dogma. We'll talk about all the monster climbing maybe in another video. Anyway, let's go back to Dragon's Dogma. After defeating the Chimera, the prologue mission ends. It's hard to recall any game that introduces both story and gameplay so seamlessly. In this short introduction, Dragon's Dogma covers basic movement and combat, the day and night cycle, the importance of lighting, monster weaknesses, pawn companions, different combat classes, story setting, and the main villain. After completing the prologue mission, you'll face the dragon once again, this time in the town of Casardis with your custom character. Although you manage to fend off its attack, the dragon takes your heart and makes you an arisen, creating an unexplained bond between you two. To prevent Grancis, your continent, from being destroyed, you must seek and defeat the dragon as the arisen. You'll need to pursue the dragon and take on various tasks such as defeating monsters, building a strong party, training your primary pawn, and mastering your chosen class. All these are done to prepare you for the ultimate battle against the dragon. My journey was long and challenging as it required a lot of off-stream playtime to level up my player and class properly. In Dragon's Dogma, classes are known as vocations and players can start off as a fighter, thief, or mage. Since I preferred the sword and shield playstyle, I chose the fighter class, while my pawn, named Mea, after my partner, used daggers and bows as a thief. I summoned different pawns to create the generic party composition of a tank, a physical damage dealer, a magic damage dealer, and a healer. Together we faced a variety of monsters including wolves, goblins, lizardmen, bandits, griffins, chimeras, undead, phantasms, cyclops, trolls, worms, and wyverns. The land of Grances is filled with dangerous creatures, and there are countless more that I have not yet even mentioned. Passing through different places and landmarks in Grances, it is evident that both civil and wildlife fill the continent. At the beginning of your journey, as an arisen, you'll find yourself at the encampment, a small military post tasked with protecting nearby settlements. One thing I've noticed is that Dragon's Dogma has a pattern. Almost every area features a mini-boss. This makes reaching and exploring new locations all the more rewarding, and the encampment is no exception. In fact, the encampment is where you encounter two mini-bosses, the more significant one being the Hydra. Just like the Chimera, there are many ways of dealing with the Hydra. Wait for one of its heads to lower down, cast a spell as it opens its mouth, attack it from afar with magic or arrows, or climb on it and cut it down. After defeating the Hydra, you will need to deliver one of its heads to the capital of Grancis called Grand Soren. You escort the military group led by Sir Mercedes and pass through the Moonsbit Pass. This pass is located in a mountain guarded by harpies, wolves, goblins, and bandits. Walk carelessly, and you might even find yourself crushed by falling boulders. The Moonsbit Pass may not be the most impressive area with its narrow and treacherous design. However, it perfectly fits as an introduction to monster-filled areas you will encounter all throughout the game. These areas are carefully designed to mix a specific theme, the monsters, and the current story being told in your progress. I personally found this as very reminiscent to that of Monster Hunter areas where they often have winding paths and tricky shortcuts. There is another area later on in the game that I was absolutely awestruck with, which is the Soul Flayer Canyon. Just like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, one thing I love about games made by Japanese developers is the way future locations are often revealed both openly yet subtly. At the top and end of Moonsbit Pass, you will see the capital of Grancis and the plains between them called the Estan Plains. In the distance, you can also see an ominous colosseum that seems to beckon your curiosity. This, in fact, is an important area further into the game. Dragon's Dogma is littered with these simple yet carefully made locations that make exploration always worthwhile. So, around the quarter mark of my playthrough, I had just gotten out of jail after accidentally punching a guard. I was about to escort one of the daughters of one of Grand Soren's merchants when Flyout Fate came by to my stream. At that time, I didn't know who Flyout Fate was, but I was happy to have him join my stream. He stuck around for an hour or so and seemed to be knowledgeable about the game. He even helped me with certain missions and class compositions. It wasn't until the next stream that I found out that he was actually a world record speedrunner of Dragon's Dogma. Having such a person occasionally drop by my stream is something I'm truly grateful for. This is because Dragon's Dogma is, unfortunately, not that popular. I think? I'm not sure. But you know what I know? It has a very dedicated and niche community that provides quality of life mods and helpful tips on the internet. Another viewer that I greatly appreciate is Aftershock. Aftershock is a Filipino viewer who found me and stuck around until the end of my Dragon's Dogma playthrough. He entertained every gameplay and lore question I had and even gave me strong equipment. The deed I'm most grateful for from him is his openness to conversing with me about my lore theories on Dragon's Dogma. These dedicated fans of Dragon's Dogma are everywhere on the internet, and their mark can be felt through the various mods, accessible communities, and YouTube videos that help you with the game. Speaking of Dragon's Dogma lore, it has one of the most basic and straightforward stories you can ever make or read in a fantasy fiction. The generic fairy tale story of the hero and the dragon goes like this. There is a dragon that represents evil, and a hero that represents good, destined or chosen to defeat it. This is how it plays out in Dragon's Dogma, but only if you pay no mind to the subtle character interactions, sly hints in the dialogue, item descriptions, and post-game content. I won't spoil it, even though I feel like I already did, but it is worth exploring the world after finishing the game. Just because the dragon, which I am absolutely sure you will love, is gone, it doesn't mean that the story has completely ended. So, should you try it? The answer is an absolute yes. In my opinion, Dragon's Dogma was at the peak of the open world RPG games during its time. Granted that some of its gameplay elements and graphics are outdated, the core elements and high fantasy RPG experience it offers are still made to perfection. There are really no more words I want to add. I just hope my love for this game is reflected in this writing, or, well, I guess recording. And I pray to God Dragon's Dogma 2 plays more smoothly and looks even better. And we've seen the trailer, so I kind of have high hopes for it. But yeah, anyway, that's everything from you guys. If you ever have any suggestions or maybe comments about what I did, or maybe you could share your own thoughts on Dragon's Dogma and your experiences with it, please do comment down below. Anyway, see you guys. I'll try to make more of these, and yeah, I don't know.